Hello there. I wanted to talk about a collection of Magic the Gathering cards I have, a subset. And I'm going to try not to spin too much of a yarn. I'm going to try to get to the point as much as I personally like to hear this. I think it's important to just get down to it. I've been playing since the 90s. I never really was a collector. I was more just, I got cards that were good for decks. And this is sort of as a result of having all the decks I wanted, but just sort of collecting a weird little niche. Anyway, the set is basically 16 unique cards. And I'll just as a preface as saying I'm not really interested in foils. And the reason being, where I live in North America, foils basically curled or pringled. And as a result, you either went all foils or none if you were using them in decks. So historically, I never collected them. And whenever I did get them, whether it was from packs or booster boxes, I would just hoard them and then trade them all in. Anyway, I've kind of rambled enough on this. I flip this to the right page. This set, a little bit of autofocus. This set basically was a result of it being the cards represented from the last expansion set that didn't have foil cards. And that set was, ironically enough, Urza Saga. Now, this is not an Urza Saga card, but it is Urza Saga in foil. 2 pre-release, 2 regular Modern Horizons. And this binder displays cards in pages of 4 per page. And it just was kind of neat because this kind of came out after I started making the set. So anyway, this is what it's about. And this is where it started. This is the first official foil card that was ever released by Wizards of the Coast. And yeah, I guess actually I should probably prop this up because it's showing my face. But not that that really matters. But anyway, Lightning Dragon. It's a really bold card. And what I will say, generally speaking, try to bring it up to the camera here. So can we get a little bit of focus? There we go. Nice. Foiling is really superb on these cards. And yeah, this was a pre-release for Urza Saga, but Urza Saga never officially got any foil cards. And that's kind of where we're at. So basically, that's the story. So I decided to collect all cards that have the Urza Saga symbol, even though this is the only one that has it in gold, gold lettering. It's not the Urza Saga symbol foiled. I decided to collect all, or just finish up whatever ones I had. Playsets in foil, of all the foil cards, and then playsets of the normal card. And then to add a little bit of spice, I decided to get, or see if I could get, the playsets of the non-foil cards signed by the artist. And what I'll say is, with a very singular notable exception, this is pretty reasonable to do if you want to do that. I don't have the prices offhand, but most of the cards are affordable and easy to do. And what I'll say is just whether it's easy, moderate, or hard to get the signature. And I would say it's moderate. It's not impossible. Ron Spencer still signs cards, but he's not that easy to get a hold of. But he does do it, and yeah, that's about it. But I do think it's a really striking card. You can see a difference in the coloring. Maybe I can bring it up to the camera. You can really tell there's a big difference in the coloring between the two. And yeah, I prefer the foil color. It's very vibrant, it's very striking. Anyway, moving on. This card represents the first of the cards that were available during the Arena League 1999 event. These cards were available in transparent packs of 10. I didn't really explain how the pre-release or the promo was available, but anyway, these, again, we can sort of bring it up to the camera. Really nice coloring on these. You would get them, I think participants would be given them. I don't really know the details. If you do, if you were present when that happened, please leave a comment below. Anyway, the point I'm trying to get at desperately is that they were available in packs of 10. And in fact, you can still sometimes see them for sale. This is a card I used to play with a lot. Anthony Waters, he's easy. He is among a group of artists on Facebook who are dealt with through particular agents or third parties who handle all of the sorting, sending, and payments for cards to be signed. And that's how I got these signed by Anthony S. Waters. So he is reachable, he still does sign cards. And yeah, they're pretty easy to get. Pouncing Jaguar, I think this card was at the time popular and standard, and that's why it's included here. I mean, it is a pretty good card if you have a way to sort of like slap haste on it. But because of the echo cost, I mean, even the echo cost isn't that bad, but you would like something to come into play, so it's kind of faded into obscurity. It's the first creature, also from Arena, and I would say Darren Bader is easy to get a signature. He's in the same group as Anthony S. Waters. Island, one of my favorite cards. Really, really beautiful art. Very evocative of the past. I love it. And yeah, Donato Giancola, he's easy. He does these again through various third parties. He still signs stuff. But yeah, I love this kind of like weird atoll. I love the color of the water closer to the shore, the sky. I'll say this much with Magic, it's definitely not just something that I enjoy playing and sort of collecting, but the artwork stands out to me with a lot of these. And yeah, for whatever reason, there's another one, which is the first kind of misprint. You can see there is no mana symbol. There's no mana symbol. So this is not a variant so much as it is a misprint, but it is a notable misprint in that these, you could find packs of 10 of these all missing the mana symbol. So I believe it was a early-ish print error. And yeah, these are a little bit more difficult to find. They do carry a slight premium as well, but not like a crazy realm. And for whatever reason, I decided to get another playset signed in black. Skittering Skirge, I really like how the black pops out. You can see it better on that one. Really, really jumps out. Again, Ron Spencer. And what I'll say is, I didn't get all of these freshly signed. I did not do that. I opted to get these three purchased separately. And you know, I mean, it is close enough to his real signature. I don't think this is a card where you would get these notably forged, a signature forged. So some of them I bought, and actually some of them, as you will see, I don't have a change, or bleh, I don't have a choice to have bought them because I'll explain the details easier. So yeah, yeah, so he's not easy, he's medium difficulty to get signed, but he does sign them. John Avon, he's easy, it's a beautiful card. I like how the sky is a bit more magenta on the foil. Really, really iconic Urza Saga cycle land, and again from Arena. Everything is kind of bunched in the groups as they were. This is a personal favorite of mine, even though the art itself isn't really enhanced, but the blue color really pops out on Rewind. And even though it's not a very useful card, it is a nice card. Dermot Power is easy. Again, he's handled through some third parties where you can get the card signed. This is a lovely, lovely land. There's lots of Plains inspired or just Plains flavored cards from this time, and you know, just the Plains set that was done that have this like very yellow. And I would say that that's the one thing for all of the lands in Urza's Saga, and that's not to say it's not true with others. They're very much the essence of the color that they represent. And I mean, even though this isn't a Plains, it's like this weird yellow skyscape, and this great art by Rob Alexander, who's a wonderful landscape artist for Wizards of the Coast for so many years. Just a great card. And then we come to Karn. This used to be really cheap, and then I don't know, I think it was around the time of the US stimulus checks, or maybe the Canadian CRB payouts, when there was a really huge push on vintage Magic. And yeah, like it used to be worthless. It's not that bad, but it's not that good. I don't know. This was the notable rare from the Arena League 99 set. Excuse me. This one I got pre-signed. The other three I had sent. So I'd say Mark Zug, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He has a website, so you can't reach him directly. Like I would say others, like John Avon, he also has a website. Yeah, he's somewhere, I would say he's somewhere between easy and medium, right? Medium difficulty, but he's around, he does signatures and so forth. And then we have Swamp. This was technically on the same sheet for the rest, but it was the last one released for the Arena League 99 set. I really like how much bluer the Swamp is. Can't really do this too well, but anyway. Yeah, so this was the last one. Again, John A. we already discussed. He's pretty easy. This is Judge Promo, Stroke of Genius. I love playing with this card. However, I would have to say for these are none of my copies, my original ones. I had to go out and specifically look for these. These are cards by Stephen Danielle. He doesn't sign cards anymore. As you can see with the dates, if I can get this zoomed out, you can see the dates is like 99, and then my newest one is 03. Dude doesn't sign anymore. And I have to say, respect goes out to people who do and don't sign. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a really tough job, even if you are getting paid. I just think it's kind of, even though I did get all of these cards non-foiled signed in one way, shape, or another, it's still a really tough job, and I don't blame people who don't want to get their cards signed. So, and yeah, the blue really jumps out for these. And yeah, if you knew anything about this set, or just kind of had an idea, yeah, this is the one reason I would say don't bother doing this set. Don't bother, because the current prices for this, even the prices years ago, were not good, and now, I mean, it's kind of crazy. And you may say to yourself, well, you didn't even get the real one. You didn't even get the real one signed. Yeah, I got the World Championship deck, the 1999 Matt Lind World Championship deck. I got the gold version signed in gold, which is quite nice, rather than my regular ones. And I was just like, you know what? These were dirt cheap, and I didn't really want to get my regular ones signed. And I was like, you know what? So there's some people out there who consider signed cards to be damaged. For my money, I'd say, you know what? I don't mind, but I would say signed is a little bit different from unsigned, you know. But these cards, the price on it is astronomical. Is it good? It is absolutely a great card. One of the best. Is it the best land from Urza's Saga? I would have to disagree. But the fact that it's in foil, I wouldn't do it again. I would not get these again, even if they have gone up significantly in price. But this was also a Judge promo, and I just remember there used to be, if you know the website cardmarket.com, primarily caters to the European market. In any case, there used to be a gentleman on there, and he had like, I don't know, some crazy number. He had some crazy number up in his store, like nearly triple digits, right? So there are, I don't want to, you know, throw fuel on the fire for people who are looking for this card, but there are a bunch of them out there. I just don't think we know. And again, I thought it was cool to get it signed in gold, so I was like, whatever. These were basically, like I said, worthless. And I was like, you know what? If it's signed as damaged, then I'll take the gold damaged. And again, Mark Zook, yeah, like he's pretty easy, between easy and medium. Thran Quarry, it's like one of the greatest cards you could ever use for like slivers. I mean, it is a very good pairing for slivers, sliver decks. Michael Seven doesn't really sign cards anymore, so I had to buy all of these. Funny story, he used to have a P.O. box listed on an old version of his website, and I tried to take a chance. I sent my cards to the P.O. box, and then I got it back like 7 months later or something. So I was just like, you know what, I'll just get these signed. I really like this card though. And again, even though the art isn't really enhanced, I mean, the red is a little bit stronger. Yeah, but these were from the Junior Super Series, so not a Judge promo like Gaea's Cradle and Stroke of Genius. This is also Junior Super Series, Serra Avatar. And again, not really the image enhanced. Dermot Power, again, he's an easy signature to get. This used to be a really good creature, you know. White used to have these huge creatures that would just, you know, do tons of damage, and this was like the one for a very, very long time, but kind of faded. And yeah, like I would say, again, I don't want to hammer on Urza's or Gaea's Cradle anymore, but that card, just one of those, supersedes almost everything else in terms of value. So if you want to seek out the rest, including these, go for it. You're not gonna, you know, just be patient on the prices. You don't have to go for broke. And the technically last card is the first card that I ever got, because I never really collected foils. I never really liked them, right? I never really liked them. But I love Duress. And I just figured, you know what? Maybe I should get a playset. And that's kind of what started this whole thing. Lawrence Snelly, he's easy. He's easy to get the signatures for. So it's not that big of a deal. But I love the art of Duress from Urza's Saga. I love the everything. Everything kicks ass about this card. And yeah, it's kind of what set it off. But we're not quite done. I'm going to try to wrap it up. Excuse this, I think it's Deckmasters? Duel Masters. Duel Masters released these a few years ago, and I was like, oh man, it's dirt cheap, and it's like the Chris Ron Black Lotus art. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not? It's quite nice. It's not the same as Wizards of the Coast foiling, but you know, they were pretty cheap, and I was like, you know what? I got room in the binder. But to conclude, what you see here are variants. These are earlier variants, and you might notice that the star and the card itself is darker. It's going to be hard for me to show this, but I will try. If you notice between these two, you'll see these, the star is a certain way, but on these ones it's darker. These are called the big shooting star variants. And the way you can tell is that one of the denticles of the star, let's try to get a little bit closer here, but the denticle of the star breaks the frame of the text box, so it goes into the frame. The cards are also notably darker. However, if you're trying to get these, it is better you try to do it in person and try and have a reference card. So it's better to have a regular forest, a non or medium shooting star forest to compare against. Now the benefit here is that these are variants. I wouldn't call these misprints. These are just early variants. They're not as common, but they are around. Now you'll notice I have a gap here. The gap is in case there is a symbol-less big shooting star island. I don't think it exists. I haven't seen them, but the big shooting star symboled island does exist. And again, they're a little bit darker. There's not really much difference, but that's the big difference, is the coloring is darker. And you can tell with these too, like these plains are like super dark. The mountains, not so much. And that's the last thing I'll note, is that it only affects the lands. So anything else from Arena League 99, and I guess I didn't mention for this is from Arena League 2000. This was one included in Arena League 2000. But these were all from, the lands that appeared in Arena League 99. And there's the swamp. Swamp is super dark. Super, super dark. And that's it. That's it for the subset. Like I said, it's very possible to do this if you exclude one notable card. And even then, you don't really need it. But that's all there is. And we're going to try to go on to the next one.